folks, welcome back to another episode of Sky Factory with me, SizerKoze. In the last episode, well, in this episode actually, I went and deleted the commentary. OMG. Dope. So I'm going to have to do another one of my commentaries over the top of this. Anyway, I think today we're going to do a bit of a base tour. So on my right you have the dirt generator, and you can see here that I've also made an obsidian generator. And what it's doing is I have a stone barrel in there, and the lava is being pumped into it from my lava tanks. And there's a water source above it, which is converting all of that lava into obsidian, and then it's being pumped out into this better barrels barrel here. So I'm going to end up with 64 stacks of obsidian if I leave it running. We looked at the lava generation in the last episode, and I've added some hardened portable tanks there from thermal expansion, because yeah, I prefer those tanks and they hold a lot more. What else? We've got some barrels over here. This is just my new temporary water source, I guess. And over here we've got some wooden barrels, and these ones are specifically for converting cobblestone into mossy stone. Yeah, so we've got a ton of stuff to do today, and I think we'll have a look at the islands first of all, and then we'll eventually get ahead and we'll do a kind of a smeltery tutorial type thing. Well, it's about time we had a smeltery anyway. So if I come down here, you can see that I've actually built the entire of this floating island's shell. Yeah, it took forever. So you notice in the top left hand side, it wasn't 40 something days, it's now on 90 something days. That's how long it took to build the outer shell. And I didn't use a jetpack. I really need to get a jetpack going. That's something we'll look at in future episodes. But yeah, you can see from here I've also done the same thing to the mob grinder, and the plan is to move the mob grinder and lower it down so that I can have a manual mob grinder down here and an automatic one up above. Which just means that when we're not here, it'll still be producing items and we'll still be getting mob kills. So yeah, that's about it for the base tour. We've still got a lot of things to add to the base. We'll just have a quick look at it from outside. It's a lot bigger than I was planning on making it, I think. And it's definitely something to consider if I do any more of these in future. But yeah, I'm quite happy with the way it turned out. That's entirely made from cobblestone. And I just used chisel to make it into different coloured cobblestone. So it goes from brown through to normal coloured and light coloured. I also updated my weapons. I've now got Thomic Tinker's Construct tools. And I also got some Traveller gear as well from Tinker's Construct. At the moment I still got the imp skin stuff on. But as I said before, we're going to make a smeltery today, and to make a smeltery we're going to need grout. And grout is clay, sand and gravel, so in the best Blue Peter style, here's some of the materials I prepared earlier. And we're just going to take these and we're going to convert them into grout and begin making our Tinker's Construct smeltery. And I just need to figure out where the best position is. One other thing, we're still using the old furnaces here. I think what we will do is we're going to upgrade our furnaces in this episode as well. So currently we're using the old stone furnaces, fairly standard ones from Minecraft. We could have made there are huge amounts of different types of furnaces and smelteries in Sky Factory. We're going to go with the thermal expansion Redstone Furnace, and this is kind of like in addition to the smeltery. It does the same thing as the smeltery. The smeltery can also be used to make alloys, and it can be also used to pour things into casts. We've got all the pieces we need now to make the Redstone Furnace, so I think we'll just go ahead and make that. Anyway, we've got all the pieces. It basically requires a bit of redstone, some bricks, a machine frame, copper gears and a reception coil. Most of the machines that require power have a reception coil. That's how you can remember it. Receives power, reception. So we've got our furnace, and we'll just plop that down next to the pulverizer just now, and essentially we can use that to... We just need a bit of leadstone flux duct actually. Just grab this bit. Yeah, it just does everything the furnace does. It just does it a lot faster, and it uses RF instead of fuel. So all of our cobble generator is basically providing us with fuel. To make the seared bricks, we're going to need grout, and the seared bricks are what make up the smeltery. So I'm going to convert all of this sand and gravel and things into grout, and then I put all of it into the redstone furnace. I'm just going to grab this chest first, though. Oh, and I'll need the hopper thing as well, so that the furnace can pull items in from above. And I'll just put some chests down in here. Ah, that's an integrated servo. I've got the wrong one. I need the augmented, the integrated hopper framework, and I don't need the redstone circuit. So yeah, the servo transfers out, the hopper transfers in. So we'll just pop in the hopper in here and take out the redstone one. The redstone one just allows me to turn it on and off externally using a redstone signal, which I very rarely use, but it does have its uses. Pop all the grout in, and now we just got to wait for all of those seared bricks to be converted from grout, and we can start building the smeltery. That's going to take a while, and these machines are still quite basic, so I think we might need to think about upgrading the machines, or building some upgrades for the machines as well. Just having a slurp of my tea there. Yeah, so the hopper will pull stuff in, and it'll spit it out as well. And you can do the same thing on the pulverizer. But I think what we will be doing is maybe making an induction smelter, or upgrading the furnaces and doing a couple of other bits and pieces. So if we look at the furnace in the NEI, you can see that they have different machine frames in the center: resonant, reinforced, hardened, basic. We've got a basic one just now, which is this machine that we have. And if we expanded on that, and if we improved the machine, which you can do through upgrade crafting, you can just take the machine and put the same sort of stuff the machine chassis would use on the outside of the furnace, and then we can upgrade it. So to get through that, you need to go through each upgrade in turn, and you can see that some of them require different bits and pieces. So the top end requires Enderium, which is going to require Resident Ender and some other bits and pieces to make. This one just needs Electrum, which is gold and silver, and Invar, which we've already made. So it's fairly easy to upgrade them to the first level. It requires a bit of faffing about. So if we just pull the items off, I've got some of the stuff here. I just went and grabbed it all. Then we can just, these are in the wrong place. Then we can just upgrade our machines. So we've now got the hardened versions. And the advantage of the hardened ones is that they can hold more RF, and they can hold more upgrades essentially. So they can use more RF at once, more redstone flux, and that means that if you have upgraded them, that they have the capacity to do more things at once. And obviously the extended amount of RF held within the machines means that where they can, they'll work faster, because the machines slow down as they empty redstone flux. So we'll just update both of these two. So now we've got the redstone furnace here, and you can go through all the tabs and they just tell you how it all kind of works. But all you really need to know is that you put your upgrades in there. And the next thing we're going to make, if I can type augment, come on, ENT, okay. You have all kinds of augments. I'm not sure what the Britannia ones are, but these ones here are, some of them are specific to a certain device. Like this one's for putting on a coil of a dynamo, and you can see this one here is also it's specifically for dynamos. It stops you wasting power. These again, dynamo fuel efficiency. These are really good, and we'll probably put these on our magmatic dynamos at some point. It just increases the amount of power they get out at the cost of efficiency, or it increases efficiency. Now these are really good. They're basically ways of improving the amount of secondary outputs you get from your processing, and the ones we want are these, the secondary reception coil. What these do is they speed the machines up to be twice as fast at the cost of extra power. And you've also got a couple more here which are for specific things. Like this one increases food if you use it on a furnace. It basically makes a furnace more efficient for cooking food, but it means it can't do anything else. And they're quite good if you do a lot of cooking, like Pam's Harvestcraft stuff. And what we're going to do is we're just going to make the secondary reception quilts now, because it requires a hardened machine. And as we upgrade the machines, we'll upgrade the speed of the machines as well and improve them. So it's fairly easy to make. The only difficult-ish thing to make is bronze, which is copper and iron, I believe. I just need to remind myself. So I've got the bronze now. And yeah, we're just going to upgrade the machine. So there you can see we put it on the Redstone Furnace, and now it is a lot faster. It's using more power, but it is a lot faster. So it'll get through that grout a lot quicker, and pretty soon we'll have enough to make our smelteries. You can see now it's using 60 RF. I think it was using like 20 or 40 or so before. Well, 30 I guess. The maximum amount it can use is 60 at the moment. And upgrading the machine would increase that too. So yeah, there you go. Time to speed plus 50% energy use. So it was using 40 before, and now it's using 60. So yeah, eventually we'll probably want to augment all of our machines to make them faster. But meanwhile, while we're waiting for that to happen, let's make an induction smeltery. An induction smeltery, or an induction smelter, we've got all the parts already. Just needed the machine frame. It's very similar to a furnace, but it's not a furnace. And we'll just do the upgrade to hardened straight away before we do anything else. And what it allows you to do is it allows you to make alloy blends, but it also has some benefits. It basically uses material as flux, and in our case we'll probably mainly be using sand as flux to smelt down ores and that kind of thing. But you quite often get byproducts as well, and there are ways of increasing the yield by using some of those byproducts. For example, cinnabar is one of the things that you can get when you're smelting stuff. So essentially it's a sort of much faster furnace for doing ores specifically, and for making alloys. And a lot of the things we're going to need are going to require alloys. And so one of the things you can do is just set the pulverizer to automatically push everything that goes through here, like all the powdered dust ores or all the ores you mine in generic Minecraft, and you put them into the pulverizer. The pulverizer will produce 2 dust for each single ore, so there's your ore doubling, and it sometimes produces a third byproduct as well, and then that'll go into the smeltery, induction smelter, and it'll get turned into ingots. But it's very fast, like way faster than using the furnace would be. So yeah, we'll just put down some extra leadstone duct and remove that there with a right click. That just stops the power from flowing out to the back. I don't want the power coming straight from the turbines, from the dynamos. I want it coming from the 800 RF a tick that energy cell can produce. We just need to grab some sand. We'll need to actually have the flux, and we'll put that into the induction smelter, and you can see that goes in the left hand slot. And then we'll set the top of the machine to we need the hopper before we can do this. So I think what we'll do is we'll make some more hoppers for all of our machines, some hopper augments, and then they're really easy to make. It's just iron nuggets, some redstone, and some glass and iron, and they basically just will pull everything out of the machines. And then I think we'll also grab a dolly, which is just iron in an L shape next to a piece of wood. And we can use that dolly to pick up full chests, and then we'll just move all of the chests over to here. I need some wood first though, and we'll make this our main crafting area, because at the moment it's way over there and I'm never really over there now. So what we really need to do is get all of our bits and pieces up this end into the center here, which will become our sort of main crafting area. And the dolly just means if I pick up a chest, that it takes everything in the chest and I can just pick it up and move it. So it's really handy when you're using vanilla chests or you're using some of the iron chests and that kind of thing, because you can just pick a chest up and drop it again. And if you've got like a knapsack or a rucksack or satchel or any kind of external storage in your inventory, you can put the dolly with the chest into that, and it'll stop the debuffs that happen. Anyway, we've got our seared bricks now, and so we've got all the bits we need. So I'm just going to start crafting up everything we need. So I've got some seared bricks, I've got some basins, we're going to need some crafting tables. I think we're going to get 3 of these as well. I like to kind of have everything I could possibly need for the smeltery, because I hate having to go and make more grout and then make more bricks later and realize I've not got enough of something. So yeah, we're going to need plenty of drains. I'm probably going to need a lot more than 3 actually. We need some more bricks. Because the drains are how you get liquid out of, or liquid metal out of the smeltery, and we're going to store some of that liquid metal in tanks, and we're going to be pouring it into casts and all kinds of things. So yeah, it's definitely worthwhile getting loads of those, and we'll need quite a few channels, and that's the way of getting the liquid, the molten metals back into the smeltery. Let's just tidy up some of this stuff a bit. So we have a bit more room. Let's see. We can stack these as well, can't we? Let's just stack it, all of these bits and pieces up. Yeah, so what you end up with is lots and lots of bits and pieces, but you can you have a much more sort of options. Let's just make another one of these. Actually, let's make another 2 and make the same amount as the other things. Yeah, you get a lot more options. So I could pour out, if I just want to get rid of stuff and put it into blocks, I can, have plenty of outputs for blocks. If I want to put it into the casting tables, I can do that. And I think what we'll need is some glass as well, because we're going to be making some tanks. And considering we've only got 6, we could make. There's quite a few different ways of storing. This is for the lava that it needs to smelt things down. I could make the seared windows like that, but what I think I'll do is I'll just make the tanks, which only need 1 piece of glass because I haven't got much glass over here. And yeah, we'll just get 3 of those. And yeah, I guess it's time to start building the smeltery. This looks like a good spot, so I think we'll start it here. Sorry, just slurping more tea there. Right, so we need to probably go down a little bit here, make a hole. The smeltery can be, I'm not quite sure what the maximum size is, but 3x3 is the sort of standard size for a smeltery. So that's what we're going to do. 3x3, and it also means it's not too big and ungainly. This isn't a permanent residence for the smeltery, but it's just where we'll put it just now while we get some bits and pieces done. Now I need to put down some casting tables, and I also need to put down some of the casting basins. So I could put, I'll probably put the casting tables into the floor, and will I do the same with the basins? I usually do this just so they take up like less space. Oh yeah, I still haven't built the walls yet. Let me just get rid of these. I need to put the walls in first. Oh, another derp. Another derp. And where's the concrete? Let's fill this back in. Yeah, so I should probably build the walls and then figure out exactly where or what height I want these tanks and things to be at. So yeah, the Tinker's Construct Smelter. Now you don't need to make an induction smelter. You could do it inside this, but the smeltery is actually quite a slow method of doing small amounts of alloy and things. If you're doing large, like huge amounts of alloy, it's probably quicker to do it in a really big smeltery. I'm not quite sure how I'm going to set up the controller and things. This should do for now. But there's a few parts you need to make it. The controller is essential, and the other thing you need to do is you need to have a completely sealed up 9x9 or structure anyway. So make some more seared bricks. And you need to have a controller and some kind of lava tank on the outside. And as long as it's completely made from seared bricks or tanks, windows, drains, any of the parts that we built earlier, then it'll work. And for each level you get more stuff. So we'll just put the basins here and underneath some drains. And then if I wanted to, I think I'll put the tables down here as well. And we can move that stuff later. And then we can just put these Let's get rid of this just now, actually. Where's... I can put these over here. Doosh, doosh. Probably want to upgrade those to automatic ones as soon as possible. You get automatic ones in the pack, and they're a lot better than the manual sieves. Okay, let's just fill this up just now, and then we can figure out what we're going to do. I want some kind of arrangement for filling tanks. Oh, that's a drain, not a brick. Let's get some more bricks on the go. Yeah, so once this is built, and you've got some lava and the controller in there, that's essentially a functional smeltery now. So how high can we get this? Maybe one more level? There we go. Okay, I probably need a torch up here, otherwise mobs will spawn. Yeah, it should be alright now. That's F7 to get the overlay up to see where mobs can spawn. Yeah, we've got a leftover seared tank, and we've got some drains and things because we need to make some kind of way of getting the liquid out the back. So if I make a drain in there, then I can just pour any extra liquid out of the smeltery into some tanks. So I'll need another one of those faucets. And I'll need some tanks. I've got some tanks over here. We can just use these ones. This just means if you've got leftover, metal of any kind, instead of recasting it, if you think you'll be using it again, you can just pour it out into a tank or tanks. Actually, we probably need to put this a bit higher so that we can get it back into the smeltery. Let's go one higher, and we'll need to put a drain at the bottom to get the stuff back in again. Does it need to go that? I don't think you need to put it that way around. Actually, I can probably have left that the way it was, but we'll just leave it like that just now. Yeah, so now it can come out of the tank, out with the faucet into the tanks, and if we put a channel down here, this won't work with these tanks, but it will with the thermal expansions ones. So let's do the same thing. Let's show you how this works. So if I right-click on the tank with a spanner, you can see that the channels will now fill up with stuff from the tank, and essentially you turn it from input mode into output mode, and that means if there's a receptacle underneath the tank that will accept liquid, then by right-clicking on it with a spanner, you basically switch between input and output. And so if I hit an input, it'll suck back up anything from that channel. When I put it back to output, it'll just start pouring it back out again. So yeah, it's a really simple way of refilling these lava tanks up. If I leave that on output, it'll just keep filling that up with fuel. So you can see in our smeltery controller now that we, if we put in some copper into the controller, it will smelt down, and you can see it takes quite a while. And we'll also put some of this in here as well, and some copper ingots. And yeah, what we're going to do is we're going to make up some aluminum brass. So we put aluminum or aluminium with copper. You get aluminum brass, which is what Tinker's Construct generally uses for casting, for making casts, and it's basically for pouring, our molten metal into, so that we can make pickaxes and things like that, just from pouring the metal into a cast. So we need to make like some stone versions of the the different bits of things that we want, and we're just going to do that just now. And then we can take all these stone bits and pieces and put them down into the casting tables, and then when we pour aluminum brass on top of it, we end up with a sword blade cast. And then you can just pour whatever metal you want into there. So if I wanted an iron one, I would just need to use an iron ingot, or however many iron ingots you need for the cast, and then I would just pour it on top of that, and then bang, I've got everything I need. So I'm just going to do this for our basic tools, and we're going to make our first set of Alumite tools. Alumite is one of the sort of more advanced alloys, or the sort of first decent alloy that you can make, which will give us some really powerful tools, which is great. So I'll just put these down here, and I'll get a pickaxe and an axe and a sword initially, and we'll expand this probably off camera. Okay, so let's get rid of the Alemite brass, or aluminium brass that we don't need, and we'll just fill these tanks up, and so you can see they're filling up quite nicely there. And into here we're going to put all of the bits and pieces that we do need to make our cast. You can see I've moved a couple of bits and pieces around. I got rid of the basins and just went straight to tables, and I'll need to do something about this as well, because at the moment I can't pour straight out of this type of tank into the channel, which is something I might want to do. So yeah, rather than have to move faucets around and stuff, I think I'll change that up. To make Alemite brass we need obsidian, and we need aluminium, and we need a little bit of iron as well. And what this will do is it'll all melt down, and then it'll all mix together in the smeltery. So whenever you put ores together in the smeltery that will form an alloy, if you put them together in the smeltery, they will merge, as long as they're touching each other. So if I put obsidian on top of aluminium on top of iron, the three things will all touch, and therefore it'll make an alloy. You can separate them using other types of metal, and they won't form straight away. But yeah, this is how you make alumite. So we can see here we've got our alumite parts, and we've smelted them, and I've updated at the back here. You can see I've updated the tank system. So we've got one tank which pours into the channel, which then pours back into the smeltery if we need it, and we've also got some leftover bits and pieces. So we've got some aluminum brass, some aluminium, and some obsidian. So if we want to make more, we can just use those tanks, and then I put another tank in here that we can use for anything else. So let's get back to this. Let's grab our bits and pieces, and we can use these to make our Alumite tools. Yeah, all you need to do is you can take the tools you already have, and as we've done previously with Thaumian, when we upgraded the flint ones, you just put the tool into your tool station, and you take as long as the tool has no durability loss. If it's lost any durability, you'll need to repair it first. But yeah, you just take the thing that you want to upgrade, you put the thing that you want to upgrade it with, hit the repair thing, and then if it can, it will upgrade to using the new part. So yeah, so you can see here that it starts off with 480 durability. It does 5.5 hearts of attack damage, and when I upgrade it, it now has more durability, and it does 6 hearts of damage by default, and then it will get multiplied by all the different pieces. So yeah, we're converting this sword from being whatever it was up to plus 11 attack damage. Up to plus 12, sorry. So it was plus 11 and now it's plus 12. And if we add on quartz and all the other stuff, then we're going to end up with a very powerful sword. So yeah, that is pretty tasty, that sword. And you can see we've got a mining level of tin up to Ardite now, and the mining speed's increased as well. So that now means that basically our hatchet is very fast, or faster than it was, and yeah, we can continue to upgrade that. I mean, the hatchet's probably going to get replaced completely by the Matic at some point, but yeah, it's a bit of a beast for chopping down wood at the moment. And we'll just upgrade our pickaxe, and this is probably the most important one. It's now got the mining level obsidian, which means we can mine obsidian, and it will do so much faster. And yeah, lots of bonuses from upgrading your weapon. So whenever you can, and you get access to new alloys and things, it's worth checking out the NEI interface and seeing whether or not you can upgrade the weapon and make it better than it currently is. But Alumite's really easy to get at the moment, so that's the one I think I'd recommend for your first smeltery weapons. Anyway, that's about all we've got time for this week. So thank you for watching in this sort of stoppy-starty episode. I apologise for all the breaks and things. It's just the way it turned out. We've got our Tinker's Contract smeltery built. We've got some new tools. We'll probably make some more before we come back. And yeah, thanks for watching, and we'll see you later. Ta-ra!